This is Spurge. This is also Spurge. And here's Spurge again, coming up right through a crack in the driveway. Spurge is one of the most aggressive weeds you'll ever deal with. It takes over your turf, your landscape beds, your patio, even the cracks in your driveway. In this video, I'm going to give you several ways to get rid of it, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how to stop it from ever coming up in the first place. So let's get into it. Now, before we talk about a single removal method, I need you to understand the enemy, because if you skip this one thing, this becomes a battle you fight year after year after year, and you never win it. Here's what you have to understand about Spurge. It doesn't just spread. It self-seeds, and it self-seeds aggressively. Let me be precise, because this is the part that matters. A single Spurge plant can produce thousands of seeds in one season, and those seeds can sit in your soil for years waiting for the right conditions. So even if you pulled every Spurge plant in your yard today, there's a very good chance there's a seed bank under your feet ready to germinate the second the soil warms up in spring. So the real question was never, how do I kill Spurge? The real question is, how do I stop the next generation from coming up next spring? Once that clicks, it changes your entire approach. And that brings me to the number one mistake I see homeowners make. They weed eat it, or they just mow it down. That is the single worst thing you can do to Spurge. Look close at the base of these leaves, and you'll see clusters of seeds and little flowers. When you weed eat Spurge, all you're doing is flinging those seeds in every direction. Where you had a small patch, now you've got a full-blown outbreak. I've watched that exact mistake play out for years. So let's talk about what actually works. And the method you use depends entirely on where the Spurge is growing. Let's start with flower beds. In your beds, the old-fashioned way really is the best way. Put on a pair of gloves and start pulling. But there's a right way to do this. First, the gloves are non-negotiable. Spurge puts out a milky sap that some people are allergic to, and it can break you out in a rash. Some folks handle it fine, but I'd rather you not find out the hard way which one you are. Second, and this is the part people skip, don't just yank the stem off the top. Follow that stem down to the base. Spurge sends out runners, so gather them all into one handful and pull from the base, and do your best to get the taproot. If you leave the taproot in the ground, you've done half the job and it's coming right back. Now, hard surfaces. Driveways, patios, in between your pavers. Here, pulling is next to impossible because the taproot is wedged down in a crack. You'll get the top and the root stays put. So here's the homemade fix I've leaned on for years. 1 gallon of vinegar, 1 cup of salt, and 1 tablespoon of dish soap. Dissolve the salt into the vinegar, then add the soap, pour it into a spray bottle, and hit the Spurge coming up through the cracks. Within a few days, it's gone. But I need to be very clear about one thing. Do not use this mix anywhere near a plant you want to keep. Not in your beds, not around your ornamentals. The salt and vinegar will kill your desirable plants right along with the weed. The salt builds up in the soil and the vinegar throws off the pH. This is for hardscape only. Next, your lawn. Once Spurge gets into your turf, it can take over in no time. In Bermuda or zoysia grass, the product I reach for is one with the active ingredient 2,4-D. It mimics the growth hormones in broadleaf plants, and Spurge is a broadleaf. So when you're standing in the aisle, flip the bottle over and look for 2,4-D on the label. If it's not there, put it back. And while we're talking chemicals, I cannot stress this enough. Read the label. It tells you how much to mix per gallon, how much to put down per 1,000 square feet, and what protective gear to wear. Those numbers are there to protect your lawn and to protect you and your pets. Don't skip it. And that brings us to the most important part of the whole video. How do we break the cycle for good? The answer is a pre-emergent. A pre-emergent does exactly what the name says. It stops weeds before they ever break the surface. You're not killing Spurge with it. You're stopping the next generation before it sees a single ray of sunlight. The one I prefer has the active ingredient prodiamine, and the beauty of it is you can use it on turf and in flower beds, so you're not juggling two products. But timing is everything. You want that first application down when your soil temperature hits about 55 degrees. For a lot of the country, that's mid-February into early March, but don't guess by the calendar. There are two easy ways to know. The USDA has a soil temperature map you can pull up online, or do what I do. Take an old meat thermometer, push it 2 inches into the ground, and when it reads around 55, it's go time. I also like a split application. I put down half the recommended rate when the soil hits 55, then come back 6 weeks later and put down the other half. That stretches my window of prevention across the whole season. So here's the bottom line. Spurge keeps coming back because we fight the plant instead of the seed. Kill what's growing, whether you pull it or spray it, and then put down that pre-emergent to stop what's coming. Do both, and you're not just clearing spurge for this season, you're saving yourself from fighting it all over again next year. If you've got a spurge trick I didn't cover here, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it.